and I'm representing the Highdex programme, which is one of the sponsors of the Touch Rugby World Cup. Highdex is a collaboration of a number of universities based in the Midlands, including the University of Nottingham. One of Hydex's main aims is to support industry to innovate, developing new products and services in the hydrogen economy. We decided to sponsor the Touch Rugby World Cup, particularly in relation to energy use, so that Geopura, a locally based business, can provide hydrogen to be utilised at the event, making the event more sustainable and improving air quality for visitors and competitors alike. We hope this support will encourage others to look for more sustainable ways to run similar events in the future. Finally, just to say, we hope everyone that's involved in the event has a great time. Thank you.
I love Nottingham, the home of Robin Hood. From the bright lights of Goosefair to the peaceful nature of the Sherwood Forest woods. There's a feeling of togetherness, unity, pure, honest, love. And that feels great like a bright summer's day at the horses down by the lake at Colic Hall. I love Nottingham. The River Trent, the
Well, second half to come here. Australia 7-1 up. Alice Summers alongside me, and England, well, do they have a hope in this game? They'll be through to the semi-finals regardless, but they'd quite like to see off Australia before the final, where they'll likely meet again.
And it looks like another score for Australia, setting it off. The referee's pointing down, and that's another try. So,
oh, Annabelle Jansen, how close was she to making that touch and denying Australia from their first set of 6? It's Rebecca Catchia who scores, but let's have another look at this diving touch. A great effort from Jansen.
Yeah, a sweeping play and just hit hole one, but wow, what dive.
So unfortunate not to grab hold of her there. Great ball back on the inside as well from Marley Phillips in the meantime. Australia go 8-1 up. Not the perfect start for England, Alice.
Yeah, England won't be too happy about that, but Australia will be delighted. But here, Katie Fielding on the ball, picking up, just trying to find a play, but looks like that's going to be 6 touch.
It's a nice ball inside. Megan Burton with a good dive, but needed an offside call there to get the try. Not given to her instead, so
Australia just driving out now, and really good meters. We've seen this before, and England just needs to step up and stop rolling. Just have more than one shooter making that touch to try and shut down Australia.
Because the transition is excellent. It's got Australia on the edge here. It was a 2-on-1 on the outside. Ball goes down off Madison Harborne. Couldn't get the lift under pressure, and England do escape for now.
Yeah, England here just tapping out of their own 7. But great meters and a good start to this driving pattern, looking like they might be going direct.
Well, South Africa are currently leading Singapore over on pitch 2, so they will be England's opponents in the semi-final. If the scores stay as they are, Singapore may miss out on the quarter-final with that defeat, depending on results elsewhere.
Katie on the ball, looking for the scoop. Oh, just out of the reach of our winger.
Beth Newton looking for a second try. Another score, and it would be the worst defensive performance in the whole tournament for Australia, as they've never conceded more than 1 in a game.
Yeah, that is a crazy stat.
Yeah, it's a bit silly, isn't it?
The women's 27 side, and they'll be ecstatic to hear it, to be fair.
Well, yeah, they do have the best defensive record, I think, of any team in any competition below the Masters League, so below the 30s level. Lovely step off the left, another great scoop from Adams, and this is a lovely ball out wide. Catchia, the try scorer, turns provider and picks out the winger instead, and it's another score for Australia. This time it's Dimfna Smith, and Smith is another one with a ridiculous scoring record in this competition. That was her 16th score of the tournament.
Just with those plays like that, it was a 3-on-2, and as that Lincoln wing, you can't do anything to stop that ball, especially when it's just so well executed.
Well, great angle as well by the Roman camera. Over the top there, the ball's been put down. England a little bit desperate now, but they do need to be to get back in this game.
Yeah, just a great start here from Australia into the second half. must have got a fire coming and just hands to the outside here, but England well stopped.
Lovely footwork for now, though. Adams brushes past the white shirts of England, carried on by Rebecca Beath. Australia looking to open them up here. Back onto the field, Vanessa Dupras gets it on the return. Dupras, show and go, over again. Sends Grant Walker the wrong way. And Australia have double figures in this game.
Got everyone's heads turning when she threw that dummy, as we watch the replay here now, just on the outside. And a great score there.
Dupras, so often the architect for Australia, is now the finisher instead. Wonderful show and go, and this is getting a little bit dire for England.
Yeah, England really needs another one on the board here, and it's looking good from the attack. Just let's see if they can get anything set.
Another try would be celebrated with rapture here, regardless of its impact on the final result. Not this time though for England.
Yeah, just getting called there, and just the small errors that we have seen from this England side, just forced or unforced from Australia, and that's what's going to make the difference in this game.
But the story of the round in this women's 27s competition is that if South Africa beat Singapore in the game over on pitch 2, as they are at the moment, and if the United States are victorious in their game, they'll actually overtake Singapore and they'll play Australia in the quarter-final. I wonder if they know that, and if they realise that a victory over France will just see them lined up against Australia, which is not a particularly comfortable fate. England, though, will qualify regardless of this result here. They will face South Africa if results stay as they are over on pitch 1 and 2. But I mean, it's looking pretty dangerous if you're anyone else in this women's 27s competition, because Australia's closest challengers are down by 10-1.
Yeah, and as we can see with this side, they are just, like we said in the first half, just running through it, and it's looking very natural in everything they do. And
the transition is very smooth, and that's what's troubling England at the moment. Any errors will be compounded by Australia. They're so clean as well. Only, I think, 2 roll ball errors across the whole game for Australia so far. Only a couple of drop balls. It's not been a bad performance by England. You couldn't say that. They've done hardly anything wrong here. They're just trying to be as ambitious as they need to be to challenge Australia, and that doesn't always work out. Just like there, Snape was running the switch, fielding, looking wide instead, so Australia have it back.
Yeah, and like you said, this England team are so strong, and just to see what this Aussie team can do can show you the standards that this team is. But a forced error there, and England do have the ball. That was going to be called a forward pass, so England in good territory, and a new fresh set of 6.
6 touches at the 10-metre. England have to make this count. Charging run by their strike scorer, Beth Newton. Snape
is also a local Nottingham touch rugby player here, so she'll know the ground well and hopefully to field advantage.
And she's played excellently well in the run-up to this game. England undefeated coming into this final pool game. Good line from Moore. Ball over the top. It's just undercooked. It won't reach Beth Newton on the wing, so Australia with another chance to transition.
Newton there would have been swimming through. The ball came to her, but unfortunately just didn't execute just quite right there.
South Africa have scored another against Singapore in a game that could be dumping Singapore out of the competition. A victory will, as we've said, line up a semi-final between England and South Africa, who have already been beaten by England by just a single try in the earlier rounds of the women's pool in this England women's 27s fixture against Australia. Australia with a tap on the halfway.
Yeah, Australia checking it back in and just trying to drive and make those meters, but looking kind of static here, and England just in their faces.
Beath into the path of Adams.
Great touch there from England, and just trying to make them push up. But on the sweep here that we've seen so many times, and I think that's going to be 6 more for the Australia team.
Daniela Mendes with an important intervention, though, to keep Australia out. Well, here come Australia. 6 touches at the 7. Vanessa Duprat working with the middle in Natasha Adams. Duprat, Adams on the inside. Another simple score, perhaps. Did Fielding get across? I think the touch has been given.
What a touch by that, but they're going to get another penalty. For offside is the call from the referee. Fielding getting up high, trying to get pressure, coming back on side, but Australia with the ball.
Duprat winding one up, and it's made it to the wing to find their top scorer, Hayley Murphy-Evans, but good pressure by England, and that is well received by their home support.
Yeah, and that's just going to be ball down there, and I think that was on first touch for Australia. So England will be happy with that result and just driving out their box now. Disappointing
for Australia, but they do still lead by 9 tries. Great pickup, a lovely scoop by Kells. Rosemary Kells had a very good game in the opening round of this competition against Switzerland when England beat them 8-1.
Very convincing that is, and probably a convincing game here as well, as another breakthrough almost occurs from Australia.
Duprat, good carry. Here comes the Australian transition. Treneri back onto the field, as is Roswell. Williams finds the pass to Treneri again.
Yeah, just here Australia looking for that play. Oh, it's going to be a turnover actually. So another penalty we've seen Australia's just given away, and it's so uncharacteristic from them.
Every shutout celebrated like a score by England, because that is the level of opposition they face, and well, that's a really disappointing turnover.
Yeah, just on the first touch there, England just give away a penalty, and in prime position for Australia to get another score.
Williams, Australia looking for number 11. On the inside for Hardborn, great footwork, denied at the line.
And we can see their play here for Australia. They love a sweep and just getting round. As we set here again.
Well, Australia take it to the right-hand side. Hardborn almost in. There's the touch to deny them again. They'll have one more crack at the whip here, Australia.
Yeah, and just dancing around out of that touch there really nicely.
Here's the pace added onto the ball. Treneri stepping on the inside. Another good touch this time from Isabel Moore of England. But Treneri will lay it back. Here she is on the return. Wide pass. One more should do it. Sliding through is Roswell. But that is an excellent defensive set from England, Alice.
Yeah, England will be really stoked about that set, and just being able to defend this Aussie team that we've seen score so many times. Really, really nicely done from England.
South Africa have opened up a 3-try gap on Singapore. They'll finish third in the pool, just behind England. After defeat to them earlier in the competition. They'll have a rematch in the semi-final. Australia will likely take on the United States.
Yeah, just Australia here wanting to drive out their box and just made England drop another ball. It could be a forced error there, just putting lots and lots of pressure on in their face. And when you don't have a lot of time with that ball, it does really affect what you can see and how you want to play.
Well, a slightly more subdued transition by Australia is lit up by Kachia. What a run that is. England had done really well to contain Australia for once, and then individual brilliance by Rebecca Kachia.
Yeah, and as we see this again on the replay, this is really nicely done. Just getting on the outside of her play and giving a show and go, and makes it the whole way.
Well, that's the try of the game so far. 2 dummies inside and out, and England now looking to respond quickly, as they failed to do on numerous occasions.
Yeah, England here just needing to get the half there quicker. But Australia on the ball, getting a quickie on the outside, looking to go to ground.
And Cohn looking to take them on, wants an offside call, and I think she's going to get it. Marley Phillips called offside. Jamie Cohn, good heads-up touch, and England have a second.
How important it is to listen to the referee when they're shouting a player is offside, so you're able to play through. And this is what she is able to do a quickie on the outside, listening to the referee, and a nice put down.
England have a second. It's too late for them to get back into the game, but it'll bring them a little bit more confidence ahead of their semi-final against South Africa, who are leading Singapore convincingly on pitch 2 in the other deciding pool game in the final round of the women's 27s competition.
Australia would want to answer back here, and do they? Just a 32.
Adams over the top. Great read by England.
Yeah, very nicely done by England, and they have shot out Australia before, and they've done it again.
Lovely footwork, but Newton alive to the threat. So England will transition, but they're a long way from their box over on that left-hand side. They burned 2 touches before the 10, but now they look to open up the field. Nice show and go, but Adams makes the touch for Australia and forces the error as well.
Yeah, just a forced error there, and we've seen lots of penalties being given. Australia in good field position now and looking very dangerous at the line. Let's see what they can build off.
Trineri.
Looking like another sweet play.
And around comes Adams, options to the left. She goes to the right again. And this time picks out Smith, who's over but denied. Well, she looked to the right, but went to the left instead. And here's Williams.
Just burning a touch there for Australia, making sure they get set, and nice and getting high from England. But that's going to be 6 touch, and England will be happy with that.
Another good defensive set. It's been a much improved second half for England, who have only conceded the 4 tries and scored the 1 in response, compared to going 7-1 down by the break. And I don't say that with a hint of sarcasm, because Australia, an unbelievably dangerous side. They've scored 115 tries before this game, up to 126 in total in this women's pool stage.
And that try difference, and it all counts up, so making sure they get as many as possible, even not slowing down. And we definitely haven't seen them slow down here, but they're trying and they're hunting for that line still.
Lovely soft hands round the corner they go. Australia are scything through again. Hayley Murphy-Evans looking for her 20th try of the competition, but across came England. An excellent touch to deny Australia.
What a touch indeed, and just eating up that space in between that Aussie player. But here, Counties play looking open side.
Roswell skips out a number of players to find Murphy-Evans again. But this is great defence, and this time it's Annabelle Janssen who makes the all-important touch.
And England have just put in a massive shift in, and wow. England will be happy with that result.
England up to halfway, another score for them would be excellent here. I mean, it's a good performance against Australia. That first half really got away from them, but they look so much brighter in the second. Great ball over the top. What a line picked out by Clark.
Nicola Marsh with the score for England, and they will be ecstatic about that one.
Great ball over the top. Perfectly weighted. I mean, look at this ball.
Just the Aussie player getting up too high then. Just a lovely sinker ball to Nicola Marsh. With past experience with playing with her at Taipan's Women's Opens, she's a lovely human being and a lovely touch player, as we've just seen.
Rosemary Kells with that killer pass as well, and ahead of a final where these two sides will likely play again. If England can produce scores like that, they could be in with a shout. Australia, though, have been the better side across this game, and they'll look for a try to respond. Here's Phillips,
and
picks out the pass to find Harborne. Australia do have 12.
And it's looking like the clock is ticking. It's looking like clockwork here for Australia. Score after score.
And that's their 12 for the game. England have scored a couple of really nice tries. They've had to work so hard for them. Australia, on the other hand, Mendes shooting in to shut down Phillips. Perfectly timed pass into the path of Madison Harborne.
And we've seen that score before as well, that sweeper play and then passing it to hole one for that link just to score. So It's obviously still working for Australia.
That's a great ball to open up the Australian defence. Charging onto it this time was Sal Buttsworth. More, Buttsworth, change of direction. Nicely weighted pass, trying to pick out the on-rushing middle.
Yeah, lovely set there from Australia to keep them out there. We've seen them do it many times and they've done it once more. With just a minute left of the game, Australia should get another chance maybe at the line for England. But no, just ball is going to be down. But I think number 4 for Australia is just injured.
Well, Courtney Trenary would be a big loss for Australia. Thankfully, she's receiving the attention she needs. I think she'll be back to her feet in no time. Cone carries for England though. Still a bit of time for them to get a score, but instead, well, with about 30 seconds left to go, Australia have it back and they'll just run out this transition and the game will end.
Yeah, Australia's still playing very expansive, so you never know what's going to happen with this direct set.
Maybe they could create one more score before the hooter.
That's what they'll be aiming for. Let's see what they can do, dishing out the long balls. But I think that's going to be called forwards.
Well, with 10 seconds to go, that will decide it then. Australia are 12-3 victors against England. It's certainly been their most difficult game. They beat South Africa 9-1 as the other game that had even a hint of competition. This game then, it's the most tries that Australia have conceded. Before this game, they've never conceded more than 1 in this World Cup 2024 in the women's 27s category. So that's the takeaway for England. They know that they can challenge the Australian line ahead of a meeting in the final. South Africa, after beating Singapore, will play England in the women's 27 semi-final. Australia have a date with the United States if they've beaten France. We'll get those results to you as soon as we have them. Do check the Federation of International Touch website for all up-to-date scores as they come in. Full time then here in the England Women's 27s fixture. Australia, well, they finished the game inside 20 minutes when they led by 7-1 at the break. A good English fight back, promising ahead of the final.